Good evening, all, and welcome to another episode of the podcast Downstairs, where we talk all things horror. We are just three weirdos locked in a basement that love horror movies, and we got a few things to say about that. But first, we're gonna go around the table and introduce ourselves. And I don't want it. The things you're offering me, symbolized barcode, quick ID, oh yeah, because I'm a 21st century digital boy. And I'm Glenn. That's it, bad religion, baby.
You stump me with these every time.
No, I do very much appreciate the lyrics.
I think...
Motif, I hope you keep up with it.
I think you could say that we are in the era of being retro adults. Mm. We are over a quarter century into this universe. I'm running out of bits already, but I'm Claudio, and also always oblivious.
I can't say I've ever thought of myself as like a retro-futurist version of myself, but that makes a lot of sense. I am what I imagined a future self of me should be when I was like a 10-year-old boy.
Oh, dude, we all grew up to be like our Tony Hawk Pro Skater creative.
That's kind of what I mean. Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, yeah, I would look like this in the game.
It's retro futurist. But I was also just gonna go ahead and say that I appropriately am in the year 2000. Which is why I had to ask if you guys were very familiar with watching Conan O'Brien.
I knew there was a gimmick.
On late night.
Fuck! That was good.
On whatever, but that's because, of course, we are here to kind of break down 21st century horror.
That is right.
Trends, heroes, indie...
Tropes, chunks...
totem figures that are kind of, in my opinion, that I'm going to explain shortly, unfortunately for all of you that continue to listen.
Heavy-duty, heavy-hitting horror honchos.
In my letterbox, I think it's, like indie horror heavy hitters or head honchos or something like that. But it was essentially the folks that I, saw as being like the alternative to what was happening in mainstream horror in like the mid-ish 2000s. And
I mean, considering this is your second century, right?
Third, fourth?
Okay, something like that.
I like to think
start losing track after the first two.
I like to think I came from the Dark Ages, but... But no, these are just kind of like the folks that were holding it down while kind of Blumhouse was blowing up and while like, just everything with The Conjuring was extrapolating into 7 different franchises. And,
True.
We're going to get into
So these are the people to blame for all of the Insidious.
No, I'm saying these are the folks that are to thank for giving us something else.
Keeping us out of the Dark Ages.
Keeping it fresh.
At least providing some, guiding light in the darkness. But,
Yes, we are talking about 21st century horror. We are just going to talk about it as 21st century as a whole.
It's been 25 years, and we mentioned, I think, in the vampire episode, maybe about how, or maybe the cult episode, how you can't really ignore 21st century anymore. Like, it's as, deep into the, mid-70s as, in the other direction. So it feels appropriate to kind of highlight more modern contemporary stuff these days.
Yeah, we're in like a completely different zone than where we were previously. If you're looking at like the rise of horror throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, like the 2000s, the 2010s, 2020s is like these are all it's a completely different
Ball game.
Yeah, 100%.
When I feel like post-COVID, post-everything 2020, the fucking horrible new dystopia we find ourselves in every morning that we wake up now in the middle of 2025, though. But, like, really just on a calendar perspective, like, it's appropriate to start, I feel like, claiming an identity for the 2020s, you know, as, like, a trend in cultural and art decade type thinking.
For sure.
And what is art but not a reflection of the time? This is going to be very much a delve deep into like, oh,
why are these things so cool? What was happening during those times?
And horror is one of those genres that always reflects the current times.
And I love art history as like it's just a reaction to what came before. Just like that's a good way for me to help understand, you know, whatever, you know, development ended up being. So I think that's how we're going to kind of tackle it. I don't know. I know you guys are both saying you were feeling less than ready to sink your teeth in.
Oh, no. Like,
well, I think I went over under. But once the ball starts rolling, all the little things that I had written out are going to I'm just going to click them into place. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Let me give you...
I'm prepared for this one enough in the fact of I was there. I experienced it.
I was there.
I watched the movies.
And I was there.
And I was there. No, I
forget what that bit callback that is from, but
I can't remember either. No, like I'm into it enough where it's like I kind of have an idea of where we're gonna go with it. But for me, I know that in previous episodes, like there would be like a give and take of like people that are more prepped to less prepped, and I am currently sitting with a empty notebook.
Well, I've got a full notebook with charts
pages
and graphs too. But no,
I don't have a notebook. I have my notes on.
I was gonna say maybe at some point I could throw out like the general like structure, and then we can all get into our examples or whatever. But I thought maybe it'd be funny to do like where were we in the early 2000s and like take it from there maybe.
Okay.
I can only see through one eye because my hair was kind of just.
I was not. Yeah,
I was lost. I was very confused.
I was about to say I was not immune to that haircut.
Yeah, I think at that particular time in my life, I was very confused. I didn't know like it was all about the groups and who you hung out with and like what.
Well, yeah, you were middle school.
Yeah, and it was like
I was high school.
I don't know. I didn't know where to fit in on stuff.
Early 2000s.
Yeah. Didn't know where to fit in on stuff. Like I also like at this point like goth had not really occurred to me yet. Like I've seen goths, but it's like it didn't occur to me that it's like, oh, the Slipknot kids are just a different version of this kind of thing that I'm looking for. And it's like I don't want to be the
Pokemon evolution tree.
Yeah, I don't want to be like the trip pants like listening to Slipknot goth because like I like Echo and the Bunnymen, but I also like heavy like guttural screaming music. Like I don't know where I fit in here.
Well, it's funny you bring up music. That's kind of how I mostly self-identified in like those early 2000s. Like I was always about movies and TV and stuff with my family and friends, but like and myself. But I was doing the work in music. Like that was what I was like. That's what I was worried about not knowing enough about at that time.
100%.
Like that was
because it was the
priority.
accessibility factor.
Well, that was the world for me at that time socially as well. Like for me, like it was a pretty big high school I grew up in, and like the scene that I was like excelling within or like finding folks within was like the like whatever greater punk community in that area. So like that's what I was just like trying to zero in on and cover my ass on, and like I was enjoying it as well. I wasn't just trying to horn my way into stuff as you do as a young adolescent.
Right. Yeah, because
you have to wear all the hats.
At the time,
and
I was
such,
like, I was still fresh into getting into like. I was like only just scratching the surface of like new age grindcore of the times, like Job for a Cowboy, stuff like that. And I was like, all right, well, it's like this is dark, and there's a lot of themes of death. But I think what really kind of solidified it for me is like, oh, we're getting like a movie quote.
There's a big
like, and that really like, oh. What movie's that from?
There's a big crossover of bands and metal bands in particular. Not only sampling track like
shout
audio
out Dr.
clips,
Acula,
but also art from a lot of weird horror movies.
Yes.
So,
And I feel like that's
overlap.
This is our like little.
And as you said, like
our little foray, not even a foray, this is our little love letter to that, where it's like, yes, we're not wearing movie stuff, but we're wearing band stuff that's related to movie stuff that's related to band stuff again. It's all a flat
it's a good
circle.
mix. Where were you in the early 2000s, Claudia?
Well, for full transparency's sake, I wasn't big on horror then, because I
know this
You're
is
a newbie.
more
y'all
yeah.
are not even a newbie.
Not
like,
a newbie.
I like
Freshman.
No,
I was like,
relatively.
whoa,
Well, no,
You're a
just, you know.
freshman.
like I very much. I mean, they know, and I'm gonna tell myself, and don't destroy me for it. I was under the teachings that like I knew so much about movies, but I've never sat down, hit play, and watched it and experienced it. So like I knew a lot of the 2000 movies. I knew like iconic things from it, but like I never
Prince
movies
Diaries,
were not my thing.
Ella Enchanted,
Movies were not my thing. My thing was video games.
Kyle XY.
the fuck up. But yeah, my thing was video games.
Yeah.
So like I kept up with the video games of the time.
That's kind of how I was seeing it. Like if you're like music was like the medium that we were kind of most like, ooh, let me
Yeah,
prioritize
like, you
that.
know.
What were you prioritizing? Video games? Or, I
Yeah,
don't know,
video games was
theater
my
or-
thing. I kept up with like, you know, the hottest game. Like obviously I didn't get them like on launch, but like I kept up with like the video games, the Halos, the anything that like, you know, digital media that I could access on my own, as opposed to like going to a theater or renting out movies. So like
Now, was like the video games that you were into, I'm sure over time it sort of, I'm guessing that it's like over time it sort of lent itself more into leaning towards horror at some point,
for
or did
sure.
you get into like horror games after getting into horror?
horror games came first because
There's so much overlap there.
yeah, there's so much overlap. I mean, you have Silent Hill, you have Dead Space, Resident Evil, all like the classics, and then all the newer things that came later.
And
in
I
the
know you
two-
sunk a lot of time into all of those.
Sure the fuck did. So the fun thing about it is that I tried facing my fears and jumping into horror games like head on, because I remember specifically I reserved Dead Space for the Xbox 360, played the first half a chapter, didn't finish it. I was too scared.
That's a scary fucking
It's
game.
a scary
straight up.
fucking game. And now as I painstakingly stream it to force myself to continue playing it.
Check out Claudio's streams on Twitch.
Yeah, if you put my volume to like mute, because you're gonna hear me screaming the whole time. But like definitely it was all primal fear that led to it. And then it was neat to then circle back around and endure all like the tenements of horror and like watching different mediums and experiencing different mediums. Like
Because you're existing within the horror universe of whatever the subject matter is, in different ways.
Yeah.
Like between watching it or playing
I
it.
feel like no matter what medium of horror, like the genre, like whether it's a horror video game, a horror movie, a horror TV, or whatever, horror comic book, horror book, horror novel, whatever. There's still so many subgenres. You know what I mean? Like it is one of the just
yeah.
biggest. I don't know. Like it just encompasses so much.
Yeah, like classic zombies, but there's so many zombies. Or is it like a bio zombie? Is it like
It's a very
occultist zombie?
It can
Is
branch
it
off.
infectious.
so much. Yeah.
And it's so cool. It's so nice. So like I'm glad I'm cycling back and like experiencing all these. There's still so many others, like Alan Wake. What was the other one? Evil, something inside or something like that.
Oh, yeah, the Evil Within.
Evil Within.
Evil Within was fucking weird and scary.
Uh-huh.
That they took back the whole idea of like getting chased with the chainsaw thing. They made it scarier than Resident Evil 3?
4. Yeah.
They made it scarier, in my opinion.
But speaking of zombies, and cycling back to current at the time current media, Halo, The Flood. That was my. You want to talk
cosmic
about,
horror.
You want to talk about games that or horror games that I had to take a break from? It was all you see is just your radar and all these blips of red jumping around. You don't see them, you hear them, and it's an ambiance horror. It's
they're interdimensionally jumping to the place where you are fighting. That's fucking cosmic horror.
The Gravemind is this giant eldritch looking monstrosity looking to just
100%.
infect. And like, it's not a horror game, it's action, but like, it was so cool. So it's nice to think that like, even then, what I didn't think was horror was.
Yeah.
And that we, like a circle.
It's not about the horrors that we're gifted, it's the horrors that we find
along the way. But yeah, so
it's about the trauma we endure.
It's cool that we had our own different mediums that led us to the same.
I was going to say, I think it's a little funny, too, that like we're kind of speaking a little bit on, so if we're talking 21st century, last 25 years, kind of more like 2000-ish to maybe like 2020-ish, because, last 5 years, it's a little bit more recency, right? Mm-hmm. But so if it's those like 2 decades, like I'm kind of going to be more speaking in terms of like 2010s, because that's a little bit more of when I think I was being more intentional with like hunting down movies as
when you
opposed
finally
to just
got
being
that
part of
grasp
my
on it.
background, my like typical whatever behavior.
Because from 2000 to 2010, it was like a lot of the movies that I was watching was stuff that didn't come out around then. It was like stuff that I was, hey, you should probably check this out. If you're just getting into horror now, you should probably watch this movie. It's like my mother was like, hey,
No,
I know you're kind of a scared. I know you're kind of a scaredy cat, so it's like, yes, I'm gonna tell you a couple movies that you can check out. They're scary, but it's like it's not like gore. Like so, my mom was like, oh yeah, check out Halloween.
Good horror shaman.
Yeah, check out like Night of the Living Dead. Like these are not scary films for like a younger kid, but it's like they are.
I feel like I was doing that a little, not as much as I have in the last like 15 years, like post college, but like. I definitely got that from like just parents and just your casual whatever.
Shout out parents.
Just it's because it is such a huge influence, and whether like I said, like they realize it or not, like they made me like this.
You did this,
but like complimentary.
I mean, all for nothing. My mom was a huge horror fan. She still is currently a huge horror fan. When we go to see movies, she asks me about them because she wants to know, like, is this something that you know what I like?
Have you guys gotten the check-in about the podcast from your parents? Because I've definitely got it from my mom. She's like, I'm gonna.
They like, how's it going? I'm like, yeah, it's fun. I'm like, but also like, here's all these things that like, we're like curating all this stuff. Here's some stuff I think you'd like that like, is up your alley. And then like I see them, I come home from work and I see them and they're just sitting on the couch just like, what are you watching? And they're like, and I see the scene, I'm like, enjoy, have fun.
Also, I was going to say, I think it's funny that, we're talking about like, oh, where kind of were you culturally, pop culturally in the 2000s, and none of us said movies. But we're going to start kind of naming some movie stuff in the 2000s, but I'm not going to really pop off until around 2009. But I was going to say that, like, I kind of find it interesting that kind of each decade, no matter what, venue you're looking at in terms of like music, movies, TV, media, whatever, books, etc., like each decade kind of fashion has a little bit of the previous decade kind of holding on in the beginning, right? Like early 90s has a lot of that weird kind of fuzzy 80s bad, whatever. Early 2000s has, I think, a lot of like kind of washed over 90s nonsense. Like,
and as we discussed before, a lot of Jonathan Davis.
Well, I kind of feel like, I was going to say, early 2000s like had that boy band pop star resurgency that kind of has sort of since waned, I feel like, or expanded in different ways. It's not my lane of expertise, but like I feel like that was a perfect storm of like, I don't know, post 2000s, we don't know what to do with ourselves, but also like a reaction against like 90s grunge and like gangster rap type dominance.
It was that era of reinvention and trying to do something different.
But also, like, not knowing what the hell was happening. And then 9/11 kind of threw us all for a loop, right, in a way, in the U.S. Like, and I don't know. But I was going to say that early 2000s, I think, had a lot of, like, unique things in terms of horror that I think a lot of us don't look kindly upon, right? Because the early 2000s, I remember in terms of mainstream horror as, like, remakes of classic slashers. Mm-hmm. Because wasn't there a lot of the Jason remakes and one of the... I forget which Halloween remake. But
you had Halloween Resurrection in 2002.
Okay.
And then we had Scream 3 in 2000. We had
I'm talking like Jason. I'm talking like Myers. I'm talking.
No. We're talking Friday the 13th with Jared Padalecki, which I believe was 2000.
Oh, the remake.
There was like an 09 one. There was an 11 one.
Or 09. It's 11 something
they
like
did
that.
it with Texas Chainsaw Massacre at some point around this time. I feel like
we touched on this with our
Texas Chainsaw remake was 03.
We touched on this with our like legacy sequels because it was also Nightmare on Elm Street also got a rehashing like.
And this is all stuff I want to like.
Rob Zombie
revisit.
did his it's his thing. Yeah.
Okay, was that the Rob Zombie Halloween's
Yes.
time? Okay, so then that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, so
This
there
was
a
like
lot
the
of
2000, early 2010s, like late 2000s,
Okay.
early 2010s.
So
right?
then I was even placing it earlier than it actually is. But so okay, so like I remember that happening. I remember, so I guess less of like the earlier 2000s, and I'm thinking more mid to late.
Yeah.
Well, because no, all the Scream sequels are happening. That's true. But I was thinking more about like, well, I guess a lot of like torture porn stuff. Like a lot of the hostels were happening in the early 2000s.
Eli
right?
Roth was running a field day at that time, unchecked.
And I kind of
05, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like there's a lot of like the leftovers of French extremity or extremism stuff in like the torture porn trends of the early 2000s, and I think that
Saw
gave
was
way.
really kicking the fuck off.
That's what I was trying to think
Yeah.
of. Thank you.
Yeah.
Saw was
So,
I feel
yeah.
like dominating in the 2000s. Okay, this is what I remember. I remember at some point. Okay.
Picture it. I was there.
No.
Sicily.
A child. Sicily.
Sorry, I just have this distinct memory of being in Florida in like the late 2000s on a vacation with someone and whatever. We were on a bus and like folks were all talking about like Saw 8 or whatever. And I was just being such a pretentious dick. But in my head, I was just like, fuck that. I'm like, what? How dare Saw 7 or 8 or 9? How dare they make us want to give a shit and fuck that franchise? And that's
Saw
so
10.
dumb.
Your seatbelts.
And I've never even seen them
Too
past
Saw,
the
Too
original. So I was just being a
Furious.
dick. Like I had no right to like be whining in my own head.
Saw 3. Tokyo Drift.
But thank you. Yeah, no, it felt like a franchise that maybe got away from itself, and I don't know. Maybe it's fantastic, and I shouldn't talk on it because I know it's got a big fandom. So no disrespect.
I would say you're not too far from it.
I'm just saying, in terms of
I
like
like Saw 2 and 3.
I like
They were
10.
pretty good.
where
I like Wang.
where and how did horror dominate like the box office and like the general mainstream? These are the things I'm trying to think of.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of torture porn, a lot of remakes of classic stuff, a lot of, like I was saying, folks feeling like they didn't know what they were doing. Right?
Yeah,
We
a lot
were
of
like,
one-offs.
French weird stuff, right? Because it's extreme.
Yeah.
Or remakes of the things that were what
Yeah.
you love.
Either the more extreme, unknown, and uncomfortable, or something that we can redo something that is.
And I feel like one kind of gave way
accessible.
to the other.
Yeah.
So this is kind of how I came to understand it, right? And then, like, I feel like that kind of broke in the mainstream with Blumhouse and The Conjuring, right? Because The Conjuring happened and blew the hell up, and that just was the only thing.
I did really like The Conjuring when it came out.
I did too.
I really
Conjuring
liked
1 and
it,
2, I
yeah.
think, are fantastic.
Some
Great
really
thrill rides. I
spooky
love the
shots,
cast.
like
Awesome,
stuff
very
that was
creative camera.
creepy. Yeah.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it dominated, right? And then I will say
What year was that?
That was 2013.
Okay.
So this is getting into, so this is where like I would kind of start to diverge and get to the stuff that I feel like I do actually know what I'm talking about, because I don't want to just ramble too much on the things I don't know if you guys don't want to like fill in on the earlier 2000 stuff. But like around Conjuring blowing up time is when like you also got all of the spin-offs, which to their credit I think is clever. The whole like, ooh, we have
In
a,
the universe of Conjuring, you mean?
we have a collection of oddities and with each one is a story, right? So I think that's a really cool conceit. And, you know, for like an anthology universe, whatever.
Absolutely.
And so they birthed from that, what? Help me name all of them. The
Annabelle-
Nun,
Well, it really
the Boy.
It really is just two: Annabelle and the Nun.
Yeah.
And from those,
Oh, The Boy was not a part of the Conjuring universe. You're
No?
talking about Brahms the Boy, like
No.
that. Those two movies.
Okay, was it not the same? Was
Not
it
the
not?
same
But, okay,
thing?
but was it not Blumhouse?
That is a.
Boy.
Good
I thought it was very much
question.
part of that family, but I'm again,
was that,
I could be
2016?
wrong because I know there's stuff like the Curse of La Llorona that's not technically necessarily. I don't know if that's in the universe. But I
So-
think that's the same, whatever. But I could be wrong again. But I know that there was Annabelle, there was the Nun, there was the
from
the
them
Boy
came
happening.
so much that
Yeah, Sinister.
And it's a little different, but like
Town That
similar
Dreaded
tone.
Sundown.
Like I feel
Yeah.
like they were matching what the Conjuring folks at Blumhouse were doing. Okay, I felt like they were kind of leading the charge. Is what I guess.
Right,
Oh, for sure.
Okay. So while they were doing all that, in the like specifically the pre A24 days. Okay.
okay.
So I'm thinking like, so here's where I would kind of start jumping in with details of directors and their films and how I feel like they kind of carried us through to where we are now today with the dominance of like A24, the rise and reaction against prestige horror, and the sort of like now coming of like Neon's new,
Yeah,
whatever,
we had the fall of the original King to like these
Kinda
newer
Thank you.
new companies.
So just okay. So then, very briefly to that, let me just like identify some folks really quick.
Take it away, Joe.
But I won't even get into their movies necessarily until we get deeper into stuff, and then we just start to bullshit more freely. But so
Sure.
I want to speak on I guess the earliest would be like '09. All right, so while Conjuring things are happening in the early 2010s, I liked that this is where Ty West gets started. All right, House of the Devil '09. Adam Wingard and then Simon Barrett as a team hit us with You're Next the following year, 2 years later, 2011. Same year as the Innkeepers. Forgive me, I am going to name titles. But I'm not going to discuss them. I'm just going to kind of name them as like...
We'll circle back.
Yeah, we'll just
as a map, because just to get your reactions too, because I know all these. I don't know if both of us or all three of us know all
we
these.
are not privy to Joe's list. He actually...
Well, again, I know I go
completed
overboard.
this list before we
I know I can go overboard, so I won't but okay, so then we're 11. Then following year, 2012, you get the first feature from Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. And again, like if you don't know any of these names, maybe Ty West you should know, right? He's been big with X and Maxine and such and Pearl. But like these other guys you might not know, even though they've ended up getting into really big franchise stuff, which is why I ended up making, kind of tracking these guys, because I thought they kind of started with holding things down with like indie horror and have now since kind of crossed over on the other side to like big mainstream stuff, either through new IP property.
That early on, they had a certain chutzpah or something like.
And it's cool to see those folks kind of rise up and get pulled up into the majors in a kind of way to speak. 2012 is also when VHS gets off the ground. This is where, again, Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett start making, scenes. Ty West, the following year, 2013, comes out with The Sacrament. Following year, 2014, Benson and Moorhead do Spring, really cool sci-fi horror. That same year, The Guest. It was when I think all were pretty much introduced to Dan Stevens as a kind of potential horror king. A couple years later, 2016, we get Blair Witch, which had a super cool secret trailer called The Forest, but it was actually a secret trailer for Blair Witch.
Secret.
That same year in 2016 was Ty West's sort of return to film after directing in TV for a while. He did the spaghetti western In a Valley of Violence. Following year, 2017, Benson and Moorhead do The Endless. We also get Wingard and Barrett starting to branch away. Wingard, without writer Barrett, makes the Netflix adaptation of anime Death Note that everyone hates.
What are you talking about?
Couple years later.
Straight up, the decision for Willem Dafoe to be Ryuk was kind of a cool decision. The rest of it...
That's perfect casting.
Awful.
The rest is nonsense noise. But that Willem
You leave
Dafoe,
Margaret
perfect.
Qualley out of this.
2019.
Yeah, she was in it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying you leave Margaret Qualley out of this because she was in Death Note.
Why is she? I don't even remember. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was too focused on how bad of a movie it was.
Yeah. What a...
2019, Benson and Moorhead put out Synchronic.
They got back together after that?
So I'm sorry, this is not Wingard and Barrett, Benson and Moorhead. So we have two teams of pairs in this list of like 3 teams of 5 directors that I'm naming.
I thought you were saying that he was like, I'm gonna break away, I'm gonna put out Death Note. Fuck.
And then we're
come back.
So I'm sorry, just really quick. Going from 09 to 19, I've identified the first 4 films of Ty West. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 films of Wingard and Barrett, a team, even though Death Note was no Barrett, and Benson and Moorhead are a team that have done The Resolution, Spring, The Endless, and now this one Synchronic, which I want to make note of because it's sci-fi, it's time travel, it's multidimensional, but it's also the beginning of their relationship with Marvel because this stars Captain Falcon, Captain America, and someone else. But that makes sense. This is important because Benson and Moorhead have gone on to direct episodes of Loki, Moon Knight, and Daredevil, all for the MCU. They have a new thing coming out that they're producing. I don't know if they're directing, called Ideation. I don't know anything about it. But before we get into all that, that was 2019 for Synchronic. Then 2020 obviously happens. 2021, you had Adam Wingard doing his own thing with Death Note. Then you had Simon Barrett do his own thing with Seance, which is an awesome movie that I highly recommend to both of you if you have not checked it out. It's on Shudder. This was Simon Barrett's directorial debut, if I'm not mistaken, and it's just a super cool spiritual sequel to The Guest, for sure, without spoiling anything, but it's a great genre bender in terms of doing like almost Buffy-esque without the supernatural, but like snarky teen and I will fuck you up kind of Mean Girl dichotomy, but with a Ouija board. And shit happens, and it's fun and cool, but very snappy. Really like that movie, so I like to shout it out. That same year, Wingard, with I think different writers, did Godzilla vs. Kong. He would then go on in last year, 2024, to, with Simon Barrett, do the new Empire Godzilla movie. But before that, in 2022, Benson and Moorhead did Something in the Dirt, something that we've talked about that I frequently confuse with In the Earth, which was Ben Wheatley's eco-terror thing. Something in the Dirt is more of a multidimensional thing that I don't love, but I'm sorry for talking shit. That same year, Ty West blew everyone's minds, coming back from 2016's Valley of Violence to 2022's double feature X and the surprise sequel Pearl, which people did not know
just
about
within
until
a year, right?
weeks.
Yes.
Because it came out 6 months later, and folks didn't even know about it until weeks beforehand for the most part, and it was just oh, what, huh? Same cast, different, what? And just that kind of made him a new name. And then Maxine in 2024 kind of, in a lot of folks' opinion, I think didn't necessarily hit expectations for bringing that trilogy home, but But I don't know. I feel like that's going to be aging differently in years to come. Maybe not differently, but I feel like people are definitely going to look at it a lot.
For sure.
I don't know. Any movie that offers a chance to see somebody punch Ethan Hawke in the face with a handful of keys, I'm here for it.
So anyway,
that is going to be a scene.
I would happily revisit any of those in greater detail, but that is, like I said, 3 teams of 5 directors from 2009 to last year, 2024. And we can talk about future projects because Wingard and Barrett in particular are attached to remakes of Event Horizon, Face Off, Thundercats, and at one point I saw The Devil, but apparently no longer. Ty West has a new TV situation maybe happening, created by Halsey, called Bloodlust, a horror comedy.
Interesting. You had me at Thundercats.
We love animation here. We love animation here.
No, I was particularly piqued at the Event Horizon remake.
Yeah, I cannot.
Hopefully with included blood orgy,
A blorgy?
Mm-hmm.
Was that not just Blade? Was that also?
Oh
Event
no!
Horizon?
That famously, there was a.
I have not revisited Event Horizon.
So
Shame on
famously, Event Horizon had an original cut to it that the studio was like, absolutely not. You cannot put this out. This is too much. There was a scene in which that, when they are watching the tapes back in the ship of what had happened.
Yes.
And you don't see anything. You just hear screaming and squelching and shit.
Sure.
They showed what was happening to the other crew. And it was what the actors and the writers described as a blood orgy. And it was essentially an eldritch horror nightmare of bodies slapping into one another. There were several amputees that were cast.
I remember seeing, you see snippets of it in background.
Yes, there were several amputees that were cast for roles in it to just be further unnerving and things. People tearing flesh from bone, disgusting nonsense. And the studio said, absolutely not, cut it from the film. And then that was put on the back burner. And then you want to know what happened?
Made a comic of it.
That tape was lost.
Fun.
I believe it was either in a fire or it was in a. No, it was either lost in a fire or it was lost in a. There was a storage mine that they had used, and the tape got destroyed. So we will never see the blood orgy scene.
I was gonna real quick, we have to mental pin, but can I do a quick digression?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you guys seen Serenity? Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Firefly.
Yeah, Firefly. Yeah. Nathan Fillion. Hell yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Alan Tudyk.
Well, because I wanted to just reference the Reavers.
Yeah.
I feel like the Reavers are if Event Horizon made a village that, or was a moving community or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Reavers just, I was oh, that's just Event Horizon in a new form. I just felt like it was such a, not side sequel, but I just felt like they were very attached that way. I was Joss Whedon 100%
the ships themselves play an actual character.
Just the whole idea of floating corpses in space.
Yeah.
I feel like that aesthetic was so specifically utilized by both of those
absolutely
things. I don't know.
Yeah. I would even.
No, okay, I'm sorry.
I would even tag
back.
into that Romulus for getting scenes of that.
Well, especially now with floating.
Yeah.
Zero gravity.
The zero gravity
so
alien blood was the coolest
fun.
fucking thing I've ever seen. I was like,
and the fact that it's not goopy that you can go through. It was dangerous and just
it's acidic
and
citrus.
And so before we branch further or deeper into anything either movie wise or director or writer or favorites or trends, so those were some folks from 2009 to the current, and then others that are more well known that I feel we just need to identify to let folks know who is sort of I don't know,
running the pony show.
kind of building the architecture of, like the infrastructure moving forward, right? Now we've kind of broken through to the other side with like, oh, okay, so like these indie heroes, right? But now also coming up around the same time, these folks, instead of kind of getting sucked up into various IP machines or getting into TV or whatever, you have these other folks that we've already kind of discussed. So like, whatever, it doesn't require too much elaboration. But my only other thing was going to be covering basically in 2023, I noticed like 6 directors each had about 3 features that were just like dominating, like kind of just making the new trends, right? So I was like, ooh, each of these 6 have 3. So now I just want to make it a race.
Yeah.
Fair.
So very
enough.
like racetrack announcer. I wanted to, make sure that we knew all about Oz Perkins and Alex Garland and Robert Eggers and Ari Aster and Jordan Peele and Brandon Cronenberg with side notes for again, is it Catherine Cronenberg? Who the hell?
Caitlin
Cronenberg. I love her humane and I can never remember her goddamn name. I'm so sorry. Zach Kreger also now has 2 like bona fide fucking banger classics that are going to be remembered forever, as do the Philippines. But
Zach and the Philippines are going to be insane.
they
to
each have
watch.
2 right now.
Over the course of the next 2 to 3 years, just mark my words right now, and it's on tape, it's recorded. The 2 of them are going to be fucking unstoppable.
You hope so. But so, with my the little race thing. So Perkins in 2023, Oz Perkins had in 15 Black Coat's Daughter, 16 The Pretty Thing. I Am the Pretty Thing that is in the
Hides
house,
in the
alone,
walls or
alone in the
something
house, lives in the house.
I'm the pretty thing that lives in the house.
2020, Gretel and Hansel, seriously underrated. Love that so much. That was his 3. Alex Garland in 2023 had from 2015 Ex Machina, 2018 Annihilation, and 2022 Men. First 2 people revere, the third one people do not. Robert Eggers in 2023.
He's got great rating credits, so I'll let it slide.
And that's, I was going to say, that's not even
These
counting...
are just directorials, yeah.
Not even counting his work with Danny Boyle. And again, this is 2023. So Robert Eggers at this point has The Witch from 15, The Lighthouse in 19, and The Northman in 2022. Banger. We love Eggers. Ari Aster in 2018 had Hereditary, Midsummer, following up in 2019. Makes him like a horror god for a second. And then in my opinion, 2023, Beau is Afraid. Whatever.
Very mixed reviews on that one. Yes.
At this point, Jordan Peele blew us away with Get Out in 2017, followed up by Us in 19 and Nope in 22. And then Brandon Cronenberg, son of David Cronenberg, in 2023, had Antiviral at the earliest of these 6, Antiviral in 2012, a couple of years before everyone kind of got off the ground. Again, in 2015. That's what I was saying earlier.
Almost
Like
setting the stage. In a way,
a little bit, especially with the name, especially with the legacy, But like again, that's why I was trying to kind of earlier identify the time, because again, like that the sweet spot of like the early 2010s before like A24 booms in 2015 and just like takes over. That's kind of like where I felt like I was identifying directors and stuff, because it was like, oh well, who was holding it down before that happened, and in between the 90s and early 2000s, so whatever. So that's how I arrived at all this stuff. But
because for the 2000s, just as like for that 10 years, it was kind of a no man's land for directors. It was very transient.
That's what I mean. It was all franchisey.
People
it was
dipping a
like
toe into horror,
bad versions of French
leaving.
foreign stuff. It just felt very not trashy bad, but just
Like,
very.
Given
like
there,
you're saying,
there were some heaters. There were for sure. There were
There's
some
amazing
heaters.
stuff. There's plenty of gems, but
But
like
a lot of directors that sort of hit and then left.
and less emphasis on like the authorship that like the A24 prestige, wave.
It did not have the same like
bring a focus on.
regality to it as it has now, where it's like, oh no, this is horror royalty. It's like,
different stuff was making money.
At the time, like, oh, Ari Aster only put out 2 movies. It's like, and you're calling
He didn't
him
even get started
royalty
until 18.
already, and it's like,
Well,
what?
I would defend that though, because with 18 and 19, with Hereditary and Midsommar, like, I just think those are 2, super strong, untouchable things. It is premature, and I feel like
I don't
he's kind
want
of
to sound
shown
like
us
a
that.
pretentious like film critic, but dare I say masterpiece at that point in time.
I
that
happen
was
to agree with that, but that also is like a very
unlike anything
pretentious.
we've ever seen.
It's easy to say that, but
Yeah.
But and just the last 2 Cronenberg things a little bit later after Antiviral in 12 was Possession in 2020 and Infinity Pool in 2023.
Oh, I know.
Possession
I
or
know you love
Possessor?
Possessor.
I'm sorry, Possessor.
Yeah, I was about to say, gotta fix that one.
Now,
But Infinity Pool. Oh,
now those 6 folks are pretty familiar with.
Mia Goth, Ty West, Brandon Cronenberg.
In Infinity Pool, yeah. Again, this is Mia Goth following up and also like Nope with Anya Taylor-Joy in 22. Like there was a lot of things.
Yup.
I was also tempted to put Edgar Wright on here, but he's not just horror. Like he's kind of a little bit of everything. I feel like he reaches further.
And yes,
so I was like,
he is one of those directors. Like I have to really give it
I
to
put
Edgar
him
Wright.
very high
Yeah,
up. Like,
he's high up because he, like you
not
said,
that I don't for these guys,
not
but
afraid to reach. And it's
That's-
also,
yeah.
it seems
I
like
think
with
he's
every movie
going
he
for
does,
it.
he's like, I want to do something. I want to try something out.
I don't want
like,
to waste time.
Cornetto trilogy, it's like, I want to do a zombie movie.
He's
I want
very
to do a
intentional.
cop action movie. I
think
want to
he's
do a
very
sci-fi
intentional.
movie.
Yeah.
But then he goes, I want to do like a cerebral heist movie. I want to do like, I want to do kind of like a Guy Ritchie type thing. Oh,
For using a lot of the same cast, he doesn't repeat himself. For being
Yes.
very stylistically consistent, he doesn't like
I
step
am
on his own
very
foot.
much looking forward to checking out Running Man when it comes out.
The trailer. I was a little skeptical because I'm a little skeptical on Glenn Powell, but like,
I don't
keep
like
getting
Glenn Powell.
instinctually I don't, but he's
There
he's
can
winning me
be
over
only
slowly.
one Glenn.
I liked Hitman despite myself, but the trailer for
Wait,
Hitman looks
Timothy
awesome.
Olyphant one?
Which one?
Which Hitman?
No, the one the rom-com he did on Netflix came out in I think 23.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
It was
yeah.
what's his name? Who directed Slackers and oh my god, Boyhood and
Yes,
Richard
this-
Richard Linklater.
Yes. Okay.
He directed it. It was, whatever. But anyway, so okay, that was 2023. Those 6 had those 3. Then 2024, Perkins comes out with Long Legs, and I'm like, oh, I love you forever, Osgood Perkins, as if I didn't already. Alex Garland does Civil War, very divisive. I liked it. I thought it was kind of awesome and a little bit hilarious, but I'm fucked up. At the end of 2024, Robert Eggers gives us all a feast with Nosferatu, right? Astor doesn't have anything yet. Peele, nothing. Cronenberg, nothing. This year, Perkins said, "Did you like Long Legs? Fuck you, here comes the monkey." And I mean that like complimentary. And I just mean like, holy shit, I didn't know that was coming so soon after Long Legs.
Yeah.
And then,
Which, as of recording, just hit Hulu, and I'm so excited to finally watch it.
he said, fuck you again, complimentary again, because we have Keeper coming out
Yep.
with Tatiana Maslany later this year. And I'm so excited for that.
Do you know how much? You know the joys of going to a movie theater is the trinkets that they leave behind, because the most recent trailer as of recording date for Keeper, that was in The Monkey,
Was it?
like
trailer for it, yeah.
end credits.
There's been a teaser and a longer teaser out now.
Yeah,
or a full trailer, I don't know.
like when I went to see it with my friend, we were watching, we were just sitting in the credits, just like chatting, and the credits stopped, and we hear it, and we turn, and it's the trailer for Keeper, and I'm like, and we just geeked out so hard because we're like, oh my god, Oz, he has another thing coming, and like,
Not for nothing. Like when we saw Weapons, and like I know that crowd was a little unruly, but when
Be respectful if you're going to a theater.
and no spoilers, but when Justin Long showed up very briefly, just as a cameo in Weapons, some folks were like, "Oh shit," because he was in Zach Kreger's
It was cool to
Arif
see
Barbarian.
like people that were there that were fans of something like Barbarian, because Barbarian was not like.
I just mean to say it's fun, like getting reactions from
Yeah.
folks
Right,
when you
right.
have those cameos
Yeah.
and overlaps and whatever.
Yeah, Osgood Perkins definitely hit that. I didn't know that he put that in there, but it's like it's definitely hitting like the exhibit meme of like, we heard you like movies, so we put a movie in your movie, so when you watch a movie, you can watch a movie.
Well, so when I revisited Oddity the other day, I was thrilled to see some of the collections in there. Speaking of like
Yes.
Conjuring trinkets and universes within universes, I didn't love Caveat, but I appreciated that bunny figure being in
Yeah.
Oddity, and I'm so pumped for, again, I think Tatiana Maslany and Adam Scott being in Hokum, the follow-up to Caveat and Oddity. Very excited from that.
I'm very
Irish
excited to
filmmaker.
see Adam Scott do Terrified.
He's just awesome in everything. I love
Yeah,
him so
he's
much.
he's a fun actor, and I feel like I want to see him do more weirder stuff. Like I like that he's been doing Severance, so like
I haven't checked that out yet.
him
but
trying to do something different than like what he's done before. It's like,
feels like it fits his wheelhouse though.
yeah. Oh, I mean, 100%. Because it's like you look at him in like Step Brothers, and it's like him playing like the douchebag older brother. He fit that role really well.
You look like you want to punch me in the face.
He wants to hit me. Go ahead. But then you flip flop that and you go right into like Parks and Rec, and he's this dweeby little nerd that makes his own games. Would a depressed person make this? And it's like,
Also, my spirit animal and like one of my favorite TV characters.
but then you hop into Severance straight from that, and it's like, oh, he's a completely different guy in this too.
do not
It's
forget
like,
about Party Down.
Oh yeah, Party Down. He
Henry.
he changes so much, and
but I think
like,
it's so consistent in his like ability for like charm and sarcasm and like
100%.
the sort of Jeff from Community-esque Joel McHale sarcastic leading man vibe or whatever.
Jeffrey.
But not to go on an Adam Scott rant, although I could.
Yeah.
But also just two more from this year, 2025. You had Alex Garland doing Warfare, very controversial and divisive because it's a co-direction with like an army vet, and just seemed to be very glorifying the military at a time when the American and Israeli military are committing genocide against the Palestine. So like, what the hell, Garland? Do you really need to be doing that? Are you like just asking questions? Like what? Yeah.
But I haven't seen along the same lines as like Red Hulk, where it's like maybe you guys probably shouldn't have put that movie out right now,
or at least not put an IDF Israeli performer. Whatever.
My point exactly.
But then the other thing from 2025, which I also have not seen yet, is Ari Aster's Eddington. Which I hear is like better received than Beau's Afraid, so I'm kind of I'm curious, looking forward to that. Speaking of looking forward, just with these directors, Werewolf should be Robert Eggers' next edition next year. Same year, we're supposed to be getting Jordan Peele's fourth feature, but like it's all very hush hush. Obviously, that's not him is produced by Peele.
Produced by.
But no, that's just some different writer director.
Oh, so it's Monkey Paw. It's
Monkey Paw's fourth.
Okay.
Yeah. Jordan Peele's fourth feature. That's next year. And then in the future, beyond that, not necessarily have any dates, but Alex Garland, who said he was retired from directing, is going to direct, and I think write, an adaptation of Elden Ring for you gamers in the room.
Please just follow the
Please.
Now,
just follow what's in the already
There's
there.
so much lore. They wrote so much. Please.
Now I'll be able to wrap up my like notes nonsense, and I can like breathe deep, and I can discuss it casually. But really quick, because we love Robert Eggers, as does our listeners, I'm sure. Let's play a little game. Do you guys know the two features that Robert Eggers is attached to after Werewolf, whatever the frick?
No.
There's two. One's more of a rumor. The other, I think, was more confirmed. Neither are like set in stone, but. Do you know what those two are?
I haven't heard any of the rumors, no.
One is not surprising. I think the other is one that he had been attached to even before Werewolf, before Nosferatu was taken off. One was just called The Night. He was just going to do a medieval thing called The Night.
Okay.
With a K or an N?
K.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
because like historical, medieval. His whole thing. That made sense. That seems to have maybe gone on a back burner. What he's apparently more solidly attached to, asterisk, is an adaptation of Christmas Carol.
I did hear about this, yes.
Yeah. Which again makes sense, but you're just sort of like, all right.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
I'm sure it'll fuck, but whatever. All right.
So are there going to be Muppets in it?
It'll never top
Who
that.
does Willem Dafoe play this time?
The last thing that one of these guys is attached to is Brandon Cronenberg, something called Dragon, which I believe is like a space monster.
It's a space monster feature, and I also think it was like a Holy Grail project too. That like
it's like a mixed kind of genre-y, new adaptation-y,
and
weird.
It's been a labor of love for a while that he's trying to get made.
I mean, for someone who is David's son, but also like did a feature in 12, and then had 8 years until his next one. You know what I mean? Like it does feel like. He's someone that works maybe on a lot of things before whatever, but
Dragons.
So there's that, and then the last thing that isn't even a movie.
Dragon and Knight, same movie actually. Space Knights.
Glenn, I know, is gonna get excited. I know you'll appreciate because you appreciate all the things, but I don't know how excited. Did you ever watch Atlanta, the FX series starring Donald Glover and others? No,
I love it.
Highly recommend.
So good.
Director of most, if not all, but I think most episodes. He's executive producer. Director Hiro Murai. I think I'm saying that right. Guess what he's attached to? And Ari Aster is producing.
Joe's just edging me now.
Also written by Henry Dunham, who did The Standoff at Sparrow Creek, which folks might know of as like a very horror-esque thriller that's on Hulu. But it's called Bushido. It's a samurai movie.
Oh, no fucking way!
So directed by the Atlanta dude, written by the Standoff at Sparrow Creek dude, produced by Ari Aster.
Oh, shit. Okay, no, I am excited about that. That's fucking sick. Fuck. Look out, 2077. We're probably going to get Bushido 10.
I freaking hope so. So, I mean, among those, like 3 dozen
Shout out
movies?
my cyberpunk fans.
Those are just the folks that we love, and indie horror has kind of birthed from mid-2000s to mid-2020s. But
Hell yeah.
outside of those kind of indie folks and the more bigger, things that we've named, we're now up to the fourth Conjuring. I hated the third one. I hope the fourth one's cool.
We did have Patrick Wilson closing out the Insidious.
I was about to say, did anyone see Red Door?
Closing out.
Well,
it's
sure.
tentative, yeah.
Did anyone see Red Door though? I was curious because I love Patrick Wilson.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I do love.
Did you like it?
I do love Patrick Wilson.
So I was
Or-
going to say I love Patrick Wilson. This was his directorial debut. Yes.
What a multi-talented fuckface.
What's her name? The wife?
Vera Farmiga.
Who I
Wait, from
Yeah.
The Conjuring? Yeah, Vera Farmiga.
And The Departed, who I fell in love with her in The Departed. I know she had Bates Motel, right? So horror queen. Do you know? She's the vocalist of of a death metal band.
Yeah.
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 That's
Which is
so
no,
fun.
so it's
Sorry.
it's doubly cool because she's
Sorry.
like a vocalist of
No,
like
you're
she's
totally
like a vocalist of like a death punk band.
Yeah.
But also you got fucking Patrick Wilson who has like Broadway credits that I've just found out
he's
I
a
didn't know
Broadway
that.
and
boy.
Does not
he did
shock
a
me.
song with fucking Ghost.
Really?
For the Red Door.
The credit song for the Red Door was that.
I really kind of want to check this out a lot more now.
Yeah.
It's a banger. If you like Patrick Wilson or you like Ghost or you like therein of the all of that, check it out. Totally cool.
Patrick Wilson has my heart.
Speaking of trends in this era, and Patrick Wilson, not Insidious, not Conjuring. What was the other thing he was attached to?
Patrick Wilson?
Well, I'm not,
I know.
and I'm not. Hard Candy was awesome. That's not what I'm thinking of.
Was it another horror movie?
That's what. Yeah. Isn't
Yeah.
there another? Or I'm thinking.
I'm drawing a blank.
No,
What is it?
no, it's the one where they're in the grass. Is it?
Somewhere in the tall grass?
In the Tall Grass? Is he in that? I'm sorry. I
hated
might
that
be
movie.
confused.
Yes. Well, that is the movie.
I hated
but
that movie.
Which one?
in the tall grass.
You didn't like that?
No.
Oh, I like that.
That's the one where.
I'd rather watch Children of the Corn, honestly.
What other horror movies are there?
I'd rather watch Clown in the Cornfield.
But no, yeah. So Patrick
he's
Wilson,
also in Bone
Insidious,
Tomahawk.
He is in Bone Tomahawk.
Conjuring.
Is it?
He's
are you
he actually
talking-
plays a fundamental character in like a foundational character in Bone Tomahawk.
How far back are you looking, Joe? I have his.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I just thought he had like more than one.
I mean, like-
or more than those two horror.
Because I feel like he
franchises.
still
I don't-
fits into the talking about 21st century horror. It's like there are
he's-
actors
dude,
like him.
He's
that
in
he
a million
stretches
things. He's
across
awesome. We could
everything.
have a million conversations with him.
He's
I thought he had a third
He's
horror
not
franchise.
in different. He's not in a consistent franchise, but
Okay.
he also was in Prometheus, so on and so forth.
I thought there was like specifically like our kind of horror franchisey.
No.
But I mean,
Yeah,
there.
Conjuring
Anyway,
Insidious.
Conjuring
are
Insidious.
his
That's awesome.
Two.
The Insidious series was something I feel like I didn't name.
Yeah. Red Door was okay. I feel like it could have existed without itself, but like it does.
I feel like I saw the first two Insidiouses, not the third, and then I just lost track.
That sounds about right.
We also, like I mentioned the first VHS, but like VHSs have been happening for the last 20 years now, or 15 years, whatever. But
Yeah.
that's kind of crazy to me. We're getting the 9th one this fall.
Halloween.
Finally getting the Halloween one.
Which it's nice because it's one of those things like, it's not something that I see a lot of people like scream and hoop and holler like, yeah, we're gonna have features, but it's not something that they're mad about. They're like, oh shit, awesome, like yeah, because
Anthological.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like,
don't know if that's
am
a word.
I was gonna say,
Ornithological? There's birds. There's birds at all.
yeah, but very much.
Which Patrick Wilson did play Night Owl. Go on.
Oh, he did!
Watchmen!
Fuck yeah! Watchmen! We're huge Watchmen fans.
All of them.
But yeah,
Fuck Zack Snyder, but that movie was good.
It's nice to have those anthological, which is now a word, if it's not already.
What's
like
the
segments.
symbology there?
Just the segments of horror. So like it's like, idealistically, there's something in there that you're gonna enjoy. Like how we saw Beyond. Like, there were parts that like, you were the fan.
Oh, for VHS Beyond, you
or
mean?
just yeah. But
Okay.
like in
Yeah.
saying in general for VHS, like there's something in there for everyone.
For sure.
Idealistically, because there's so much
Yeah.
to
Well,
work
No,
with.
it's a very, again, like horror, at this point, it's kind of funny to have tracked VHS from like where it started to like where it is right now, which again,
Right.
I'm not knocking it, but it is, let's just say a much more cost effective. Again, like the horror genre, because they've survived both because of the same reasons, this franchise and the genre, because you can make so much money on such a low budget.
And it's
you
also
can
fertile
encompass
ground.
so much. It's fertile ground for everything. That's what we kind of,
Well, it's fertile ground for a lot of like hungry new directors that it's like we're willing to take a chance on.
And
It's
how
like,
many big names came from we were talking about Spielberg and Cameron. They came from horror.
Yeah, and they came from
De Palma.
small movies.
Or exploitation flicks. Nowadays, directors like Fincher and Nolan or whatever, they came from like a lot of commercials and music videos. But back in the day,
a lot of music video directors
that's
nowadays.
what I'm saying.
It's
And
fucking
commercials,
crazy.
But the golden era of the 70s and like 60s before that, they all came from like I see so many early like 70s and like Cronenberg and like Stone, like I don't know, a lot of early like American, they got started in like bikini flicks and like telephone pajama party movies and like all this like weird soft porn,
bikini girls with machine guns.
yeah, like faux
Hashtag
exploitation
cramps.
genre pulp stuff, and it's just so funny. I love
Yes, I worked a
again
Cramps reference into that.
again like the high and the low. Like,
Yeah.
like, I love it's good eating. But so anyway, so yeah, we have all these
and it's
folks,
cool to
all
see
these
that.
movies. Do we
Like-
love any of them more than others?
Well,
or what anything
well, to
else we
follow
notice?
up on the VHS thing, it's like
yeah.
it is cool that it's like it's offering a chance for these. We'll circle back around to that in just a sec.
no.
But it's cool to see like
Kate Siegel, Mike Flanagan.
yeah,
Yep.
it's cool to see like these them taking chances on smaller directors for stuff and giving them like, hey, you can do a short in like this anthology film that we're doing, and it's like it's a long running anthology that people love. Like we like the VHS because
got a
we
history
don't
now.
know what we're gonna get. It's mixed bag every time, and I love that.
You get the loosest, very loose.
And it's like, dude, you got 15 minutes to show me what you have. It's like, that's cool. That's so
I
fucking
love
cool.
a tight time frame too.
Oh, I
I'm
love
like
it.
the most skeptical of that franchise. I think of the three of us, and I'm still like never not excited because you never
You'll
know.
never like.
You never
We'll posit like, hey, do you want to like if we're all together getting ready to watch a movie? It's like, oh yeah, we got 3 of them. One of them's a VHS movie, and it's like, yeah, we're all kind of down for the VHS movie. And Joe's like, what are the other 2 real quick? All right, fine. We'll do VHS. We'll do VHS.
Okay,
You're
okay.
cautiously optimistic about it, but you've still never said no about it.
And
You're never
thank you.
hard pass.
I appreciate that credit.
Because you get that, because
No,
like you said, like you get that, like, oh, I have no idea what the hell I'm gonna get from this.
Still curious.
And
which is why
almost
though
always there's at least 1 or 2 segments that you're like, fuck, that was crazy.
That was cool.
At least one.
Yeah.
I love that.
But like, there's also at least one. I feel like every time that we get like a first-person shooter, and I'm like, do we have to every single time?
Can we just leave Hardcore
just-
Henry in the dead in the
That's
dirt,
kinda-
please?
oh, God.
I like the chainsaw.
Thank you, Glenn.
cut.
Of Hardcore Henry.
Oh no! We're saying first-person shooter. My brain went to Beyond, where the first one.
Oh, the
no,
body
I-
cam footage. Yeah.
yeah.
Those are whatever.
That's
Those are
a different take, though.
those have
Body
different
cam is
levels
a
of
little
whatever.
different than.
Then like quite literally
POV.
first.
Have you ever
Yeah.
seen Hardcore
Got
Henry?
it.
Or do you know what that is? or?
I know of it, but I haven't
Okay.
seen it.
And
Yeah.
you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, God. I really hate it. And I don't hate that device, because in Maniac, we like it.
It works.
In The Villainous, there's like an extended sequence. It's an awesome action Korean movie.
Yeah.
It's super cool there. But like,
From what I'm gathering,
Hardcore
there's a
Henry,
purpose for it, though.
Hardcore Henry just felt like it was written by an 11-year-old boy who was just like, Mountain Dew, Cheetos. Like, I
double
hated
Mountain Dew.
it so much. Yeah.
Legit Mountain Dew, not Baja Blast.
No, like not the classy stuff.
But speaking of VHS and the new VHS coming around, we're getting
Which we got
VHS
excited
Halloween. We're very excited about that.
Alex
I was
Ross
looking.
Perry is a name I know.
I was looking
You guys
into
knew from
some of the
Rec.
directors for it, and it was like it was the
Swim.
dude that directed 2 of the Rec, or he actually did all of the Rec movies. Is one of the other guys. Who was the other person that I had pointed out was in directing it?
I forgot the name, but it's the Adult Swim guy.
Yes, it was somebody who did a bunch of stuff on Adult Swim.
And then I knew Alex Ross
I
Perry, who does a
I
lot
was
of
gonna
music
say,
stuff.
I can just list them down.
Yeah, they were a writer for a bunch of Adult Swim things, like some of our favorites, like Too Many Cooks.
Which again, comedy and horror intermingling in the absurd.
They were a writer on Your
is where
Pretty
Adult
Faces
Swim
Going to
lives.
Hell. Shout out Henry Zabrowski and last podcast on the left. And then they were also a writer in Mandy, specifically for the Cheddar Goblin bit. Do you remember Cheddar Goblin? The most cursed part of that fucking movie?
They were
mentioned
in
it
charge
earlier,
of
and I
just
don't know.
that.
Yeah.
Just that.
It was the weird, scary, puppeteered commercial for a children's food. It was I think it was mac and cheese. It was really fucked up.
Fucking screaming.
So
And
if
I loved
we're
it.
well, and like we can keep going into VHS because I have a lot of opinions on VHS.
Yeah.
But, so
We
have
could do
you?
a whole episode of VHS, honestly.
Honestly.
I feel like you've seen most of Ty West movies.
Yes.
Are you caught up on Ty West? This is, by the way, how
it was In the House of the Devil, right?
He's House of the Devil,
House of
Innkeeper,
the Devil,
Sacrament, Valley of
Innkeeper.
Violence, Ex Pearl, Next Scene.
Yeah. So I am all of the Maxine Pearl X stuff. Seen all that. I've seen Innkeepers, House of the Devil, and Sacrament.
We don't have to be exact. I was just curious, like everyone's familiarity, like what do you like or
Your
are
next.
excited for in the future?
So I know we
your
have
next.
differing views.
This is what I wanted to like.
I know we have different views on Sacrament.
A little bit. You like it more than me.
Yeah,
but
I like it a little bit.
I don't
more.
hate it or
yeah,
anything.
no, you don't hate it, but no, I did. I think ultimately, out of like his early three, like those three, I really liked Innkeepers the most.
I love that. Yeah.
I really liked Innkeepers.
Innkeepers
the most.
feels like cute and fun for me, despite being like a very literally dark and figuratively dark.
Yeah. Well, it's like it did like the whole
shadowy.
haunted house story, but a little bit different
know,
and
it's
like
just
kind of cheeky.
plucky.
Yeah. It's like,
like that.
House of the Devil was a little too like the stakes are too heavy, or like it's just that
Early Greta Gerwig
Yeah.
as the friend.
Early Greta Gerwig.
But Claudia mentioned you're next. Do you know you're next? Okay, I was just making sure.
Fuck yeah, I know you're
Well,
next.
no, because your next I feel like is like the best
That's
version.
2011.
Well, I feel like your next and Ready
Which
or
always
Not.
freaks me out. I always think it came out later. than that.
2018 or something like that.
Yeah, no, it was way ahead of its time.
Well, because 2019 had Ready or Not, which I feel like is very similar. But not biting off and not like.
Oh, no.
No. I just in my brain flip them so often.
Oh,
There's
no,
something in
for me. It's
between.
not even that. It's Hush. I mix because Masked Intruder thing.
I was gonna say, and it's very one
yeah.
lone woman more or
Yeah,
less against.
so it's
the
like
group of-
Hush
or, yeah.
and Ready or Not mushed together, and you got your next. Like
And you know what? I can't believe I didn't
I can't
talk
believe
about
you didn't
Mike
talk
Flanagan.
about Mike Flanagan.
How
Yeah.
did he
Oh
not
yeah,
make
you,
that list?
because we put a pin on it.
We
Because you were
did.
like Kate Siegel, Mike Flanagan.
I was saying for the one VHS segment that they did,
That they did the
the space one. or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
It was the one that was inside of the spaceship, right?
yeah. Imprint? No. What is it called?
So hold on, I'm going to.
In Beyond, right?
I was
yeah.
saying, will you guys vamp for like 30
yeah.
seconds?
Stowaway.
while I
It was
find
Stowaway.
Mike
No,
Flanagan?
so yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
the one where it was like
She went into the
yeah,
ship,
she's
and then the
inside of the
nanites
ship,
were-
and the nanites changed her body and stuff like that. No,
Yeah.
I feel like, but Mike Flanagan, like his whole career over the course of the last like 10 years alone has just been insane. But if you go
Oculus, Hush, Ouija, Gerald's Game, Doctor Sleep. Not horror, but there's plenty of horror people in it.
And
The
it's-
Life of Chuck that
Yes.
just came out. No,
Yeah.
just came out.
Yeah, just
this
came out.
year.
So, Life of Chuck is a Stephen King adaptation. So it is in his like current
And
trend
Mike-
wheelhouse of doing Doctor Sleep and Gerald's Game.
I was gonna say Mike
and
Flanagan is
Dark
definitely
Tower.
one of those people that it's like he has the most definitive soft touch when it comes to handling
Yes.
Stephen King stuff. Like he knows how to pick up a Stephen King novel
Not
and not
s-
let it break.
Not since Frank Darabont has someone I think had a better ownership over a lot of Stephen King material. I know there's at least a couple other big names have done really awesome things with Stephen
Yeah,
King
they've
material,
done great
like
stuff,
De Palma
yeah.
and others. But like they did it with maybe like one movie or like a series.
Or it's like
Whereas
they keep the core value and then change a bunch of other shit.
I feel like Darabont
fucking,
had more than a few.
what's his name? The Kubrick. Like you took the
Which King
foundational
hated and a lot
part
of
of
fans
it,
don't
but
like,
then
yeah.
you broke it off and you made your own little thing. And a lot of other directors did that. I feel like Mike Flanagan really just picks up. Like he has the ability to pick up a sandcastle.
Well, and he has a
Like-
very gentle hand, or like a deft whatever in like I think all his work. But he also has very specific phases. So I love his career. So like really quick, he has student films, that no one widely sees, like 2000 to 03. But in 2011, he had something called Absentia.
Yup.
And then there was like a trend here with Absentia in 11, Oculus in 2013, and then in 2016, Before I Wake was originally titled Somnia. So he has these three features that are all derived from Latin words that have to do with the fear that they are dealing with, whether it's with sleep,
Sure.
mirrors, or not being there.
yes, I did not love most of those movies.
And in between them all was Hush.
Yes.
So it's kind of funny how like amidst all those you had something that I think everyone
had his-
kind of really loves
It
right
almost
now.
felt like it was like this is like his and Katie's project. That it was like he was
I
working
forget
on
where
his,
their timeline of their relationship
Yeah.
is, but I love that
It
they're
really-
like a loving married working couple. Like
for
that's
sure.
so cool.
And it really hits like, and they're goofy as hell. If you
They
ever look
seem
at their
like so
social
fun,
media, it's the
yeah,
funniest thing I've ever seen.
They're
But it
very
really
cute.
felt like he was like, I'm working on like my Latin thing right now. But like him and Katie started talking and was like, yo, this is a really cool idea. Like, all right, we'll shoehorn this one in here.
He's someone that I want to. I think in an earlier episode I mentioned Dan Trachtenberg, the new like Predator guy, doing like I think I said I think I said
Marvel.
Thor
sometime.
5.
Yeah.
I think I said Thor 5. I want Flanagan to do Doctor Strange 3. Because who better than like the deft horror, but also mainstream family guy?
Can we throw the old Morbius in the trash and get like a Mike Flanagan Morbius?
I mean,
straight
after
up.
Midnight Mass.
Straight up, that man can manhandle a fucking vampire movie. Like it would be great.
So I love how after Hush and the like Latin phase, not Samba, but he then starts a relationship with Netflix.
Yes.
This is where he makes the prequel to Ouija, a movie that I don't think anyone has a very high opinion of. He makes Origin of Evil, which fucking slaps.
It blew the original out of the water.
Has no right to be as good as it is. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm gonna like overhype it and someone will watch it and be like, that was fine, it was good. But yeah, but it shouldn't have even been good.
Yeah, look at, if you are going into this with not having seen either of them, watch Ouija first and then go, and then watch the other one and you'll go, oh shit, that was way better.
It's like a 70s period piece. It's what the first one should have been.
Yeah.
He then, also for Netflix, then does the Stephen King adaptation of Gerald's Game, with great fucking casting there. We love
Carla Gugino.
Love Carla Gugino. This is also when he is doing the two Netflix series with her, also.
Haunting of Hill House and
Haunting of
Bly Manor.
Shirley Jackson adaptation, and then the second one was what?
Bly Manor.
Right, which was an adaptation of Taming of the Shrew, which I think is a Henry, what's his name, who did Tropic Cancer.
Yeah.
So he does like a very literary adaptation stuff.
And
he's
they're
doing
both
Netflix
very
things.
drama-driven horrors too.
Yeah.
Like,
And again, he's getting into Stephen King
leaning
now.
hard into doing like drama now, and not so much like psychological terror. It's like, oh, what if I did psychological terror, but like with real life philosophy? And,
I think he does
conundrum.
a really good job of bringing humanity to each of the ghost stories and demon whatever that he does. He really
He brings that like it's
Before I Wake is the most like family friendly and kind of least scary, but also maybe like
it's
brought me
gothic
to
horror.
tears.
It's gothic horror.
I
It's romantic.
doubled
It's
down.
very Crimson. It's very Crimson Peak to me, and that's
Sure.
like maybe not the
Sorry.
super scary.
No. I doubled down on everything you said. It's very. That is like
Sorry, I don't
the
mean to
like.
take over.
No, you're totes fine.
I love
like
Flanagan.
because I'm also like comparing Mike Flanagan and Kate Siegel. They were
I love
married.
that she's getting up now and directing and doing
Yeah.
shit.
I mean,
she's got
Kate
a feature
Siegel.
coming out,
I love Kate Siegel.
right?
I
think.
Yeah, she does. I can't remember what it's called.
I don't remember what it is either. But yeah, like they worked so much together. But like back to Before I Wake, like hard agree. That is like the.
It's very sweet. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like it is a movie that like is horrifying by nature. It's out of, I would say,
It's still spooky child. Like it's
yeah,
natural.
out of the mask that he
nightmares,
has. That's the safest one.
He
Yeah,
loves.
I would say that's like
yeah.
the most family-ish.
He
kinda.
loves working with like a trauma sort of based horror.
Ask Midnight Mass.
Yeah, but it's like the way that he handles everything, like you were saying, it's very romantic. The way
Yeah.
that he handles everything, he's very Edgar Allan Poe about it. Like, death is sad, death is scary, but death is like
Part of nature.
Death is when
Rebirth.
the true death is when someone speaks your name for the last time. It's like, oh my
Makes it about
god, man!
connections and
Like,
people. Yeah.
ooh,
yeah.
I got chills. Like,
So then he follows up
I love a
2019.
romantic death thing.
2019 is another Stephen King, Dr. Sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's got Life of Chuck. So he's got this like Netflix relationship. He's got the Stephen King
Yeah,
relationship.
and that's
he's
not even
now
mentioning
Dark Tower.
in the in between. Still with the
doing Dark
Netflix series, he had Midnight Mass, and he also had the Fall of the House,
House
Usher.
of Usher.
Right.
Which,
the
if
Poe
you
one.
have not
Speaking of
checked
Poe.
out Fall of the House Usher,
cool.
like I was just talking about Poe.
Love it.
Holy fucking shit!
Just fun for a Poe head, I think.
Yes. And it's like he goes into like stories that are not typically popular, like the Golden Bug. Like that is not like you think Edgar Allan Poe, you think the Raven, you think the Black Cat, you think the Cask of Amontillado, but you don't ever think about Gold Bug or like Arthur Pym. Like you don't think of these things, and he did it.
Before we jump away from Mike Flanagan, I do want to say, speaking of Stephen King stuff, there's the obvious one that's still in production.
Yeah. Speaking of something that's endured in horror as its own little subgenre since
It's
the 80s.
Stephen King.
Yeah.
Which again, so weird that he made that tweet. But go on.
Oh yeah.
But no, just want to make note of
Carrie.
it for history. But go on.
Speaking of Mike Flanagan and Kate Siegel, they're both on working Carrie.
Oh yeah.
Kate Siegel.
Oh, there's a new Carrie coming out.
Yeah.
Yes, he is
TV
director,
or-
writer, editor, executive producer, and creator for
Series,
this.
I believe.
Movie or TV?
I believe it's a series.
I think it's a mini series.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Probably.
from what we've discussed, probably.
Oh no, he might. I think he might actually be out of his contract with Netflix now.
It is a mini-series, so yeah.
He's also slated to direct another thing. He was supposed to take the helm of the Exorcist, but then was like, no.
Oh, and didn't he just write the script for Clayface?
Yes.
Yeah. Then you
You want to talk about something romantically depressing? Clayface's story.
Oh,
well, no, Clayface's story
Yes,
in itself. I'm just like,
a great
that
character.
feels like that makes sense.
Very
that he's
romantic,
gonna have
tragic
that.
Hollywood figure, failed actor who falls in love and takes revenge. It was very Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
Clayface.
Ooh, dude, Mike Flanagan, Phantom of the Opera. Flanagan of the Opera?
I don't need another Phantom of the Opera.
No, but
I'm not a fan of that musical. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
don't even make it a musical. Let him rehash it however the hell he wants. Give him open, like, that would be a fun thing to see happen.
So that's what the 21st century is missing: is more musicals.
More musical
horror, specifically.
would be cool.
I don't have.
I don't
We got
hate
Carrie.
that.
What other horror? There's Evil Dead. There's
Well, hold on. I was
Sweeney
grilling.
Todd.
I was grilling you
I
guys.
still want to see Evil Dead, like, the
Live.
musical. I
didn't
really
know
want
they
to
did
go.
Oh yeah, there's a Splash Zone.
Yeah, there is. It's like
No,
a
like
Guar,
they-
it's straight up a Guar concert. It's fucking sick.
when I went to it, I sat in the back because, and they literally, if you paid like I think it was like $15 extra, you get a white T-shirt to go over your stuff, and you sat right there. And I'm like behind, I see a sprinkler setup up top, but it's also coming out. So like you are you're paying to be a drenched bloody mess, as you should.
It's a Guar concert, and I fucking love it.
and it's so rad.
That's a musical you'll get me to. We'll go to that. If they're doing it this year, we'll definitely go. I'll make plans.
For what?
If they're doing it again this year. Like, if they're doing Evil Dead anywhere,
Oh, I don't know.
we're 100% going to go.
I mean, Rocky Horror is one of those things.
Rocky
that,
Horror is a lot of
is
fun,
like
yeah.
an annual thing.
Yeah.
Evil Dead's kind of like
Evil
it comes
Dead's
up every
whether
like
they
3
decide
years.
to do the thing. I would...
Because I had to go to Delaware to see that.
I was going to say, if they do it anywhere local, I can almost assume that you would be like, please get me in there somewhere.
There's at least 2 roles.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what? That's what I'd want. But yeah, 21st century. So many.
I was gonna say, like, I kind of was grilling you guys a little bit on Ty West and familiarity. Do you have more favorites around the VHS folks of Wingard and Barrett? Do you have anything to say about their like indie horror collaborations? You're Next, The Guest, versus them branching out into Death Note, Godzilla, Face Off, Thundercats.
No, I am excited for Thundercats only because I'm not so familiar with like The Guest. I'm not so familiar with yeah.
No, I
I
know
just
you
haven't
like
seen
it.
it in
You'll
a
like
long
it. Dan
time.
Stevens. It's very.
Yeah,
if you like You're Next, you're gonna love The Guest.
I just haven't seen it in a really long time. But like the idea of them, like I'm assuming it's going to be live action. I just don't know how well these anime movies being translated into real life. I don't know how well it works sometimes. Like some stuff shouldn't really be done.
Like,
I can't remember. Was Thundercats
Death
an
Note
actual?
wasn't so good. And like, if we're gonna go into Thundercats, like I love Thundercats. Don't get me wrong, I do feel like the aesthetics of like someone like Mumra would look so sick in live action. It'd be like fucking Emotep again. Like it would be like, oh shit. But I don't know, man. I'm cautiously optimistic.
curious, like-
I'm cautiously
For
optimistic.
sure, absolutely.
Snarf.
I like some of the new Godzilla movies that they've done.
Yeah.
Like I really like King of the Monsters.
Yeah, King of the Monsters. I had really
He
great
didn't do
reviews.
that, but I don't think, right?
Yeah, no, he did Kong versus
Just Kong, A New Empire, right?
yeah, Kong and New Empire. And wait, didn't he also do Kong versus Godzilla?
Yeah, Godzilla
Yeah,
vs.
yeah.
Kong and
And then
Godzilla
after that-
X Kong, New Empire. Those are the two he's done.
Can we not name movies like
I
that?
enjoyed it.
Also,
No, I just
big
don't want
ones.
to name movies like that.
I don't know. The one
Make them
where the
definitively
little
different.
orange one has the big golden fist and he punches the. See, like I appreciate
That's
it.
camp. I love that.
It's like a 2.5 out of 5-star movie for me, but like I'll
But it's a
happily
fun
watch it
2.5.
with popcorn. Yes,
Yes.
You don't watch that for cinema excellence. You watch it for big monsters
I want
fighting.
a monkey.
Which, but Big Monsters Fighting, I think King of the Monsters actually fucking like that's like 3.5 star for
Yeah,
me.
like
Just saying,
Okay,
that's like a
so-
7 out of 10.
good thing here.
Instead of
the
like a
difference,
5.
the difference between that is like you have that, but then on the other side, and you watch that for fun, and it's going to be a great time. You're not expecting excellence, but it's going to
they're
be
both
fun.
trash. They're
On the
both
other end of that
pulp, you know.
spectrum, you have Rampage,
Which I still actually
which
have not
was
seen.
awful.
I didn't see that one. I played the game as a child.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I'm also
But Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Jack Quaid.
I was curious to ask
I'd
you
rather watch
guys
Pacific Rim, honestly.
about the Benson Moorhead folk because, like I said, they're kind of deep in the Marvel multiverse shit. But I think that's very appropriate because all of their indie collaborations, their whole filmography is without spoiling too much, multiversal, interdimensional sci-fi horror. So, like,
Yeah.
have you seen any of Resolution Spring, Endless, Synchronic, Something in the Dirt?
Synchronic is the one I'm most familiar with.
Gotcha.
Followed by Spring and then the Endless. Because, like,
Have you seen all three of those?
No.
Oh, that's why I was just curious if you had any takes on any of those.
Because when I was in my like phase of like, let me see all of, like the indie horror I could find, I like stumbled upon like not in that order, but I was like premise wise, I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
They have a lot of they're very hooky. They're good at the again
so I'm
sci-fi
like-
intrigue.
Oh, for sure, and just like not to be like a visual slut, but like if your poster looks fucking like rad and like doesn't give me anything, but also gives me something like that's gonna be in my mind's eye for a bit, I'm gonna like link back to it. So like Synchronic was so cool. It's interesting. It's like I don't know what to make of it. Oh my god.
This is letting us know instead of like technical difficulties or Glenn is peeing or one of us has to use the bathroom. Hey, calm down.
Oh, Glenn, Glenn, please,
Hey, eyes up here, bud.
my eyes are up here. Oh my god,
All right,
beautiful.
now you're allowed. But
But
so
yeah.
I'll ask Glenn the same question when he comes back. But let me ask you now, Claudio, because again, I made these lists because I'm really familiar with all these things. So I'm just like curious about everyone's takes or feels.
So like with my research, I didn't go too much into directors, but more so movies, and in that way, just trying to see like the
Directors
peaks
is
and-
just how I help like track stuff in my because otherwise I'll not be able to organize it.
Yeah, and much like our conversation, I feel like now I have to, not I have to, but I think I would benefit in the same way.
Whatever helps folks.
Because I
do
put
it by poster color, like whatever. You know? I truly,
yeah.
red and black poster supremacy forever. That's what we're all about here.
But yeah, like just I went through like a lot of the movies, seeing like what years had like the most like sequels of things, and that was
What years have the most sequels of like
well
horror
like
things?
and
That's
not like
an
remakes,
awesome
but
question.
like sequels. So like 2000, we had the beginning of the Final Destination franchise. We had
I feel like
the
2013 had a lot of sequels, not necessarily for horror, but I'm sorry, that's just I'm cycling through conversations I've listened to about this.
like 2013 that had like Evil Dead had a remake.
Yeah. I remember like 12 and 13. There's a lot of like franchise things kind of dominating, like,
Absolutely. I mean, like the Purge came,
but not
through.
necessarily horror. So
Yeah, but still, even then,
Ooh,
there was
Purge is another
Purge was one
like
there.
2000s franchise we didn't really touch on, but that was another big successful one.
Insidious sequel came in 2013. I lose track of like all the hauntings of and like the exorcisms of. Well, only because there's like haunting in Connecticut.
Well, hold on. Are we talking Emily Rose? Are we talking
Exactly.
shoot, I can't think of a lot
you
of
have
them right now.
the Lax
but
Exorcism Part 2, and then the Haunting in Connecticut 2,
Okay, yeah.
both existing in that same.
there's some La Lloronas that I really
La
enjoy.
Llorona, I Spit on Your
don't.
Grave 2 was something that happened in 2013.
I mean, that's a whole thing. 'cause
that's a whole-
that's a new franchise of a reboot of the classic exploitation rape revenge fantasy horror.
Yeah.
So like that's a very loaded topic.
And with all due respect, truthfully,
We've
Horror
answered
can-
so well. I didn't even have to ask the question that I was going to ask both you guys.
horror could do without it. as like I feel like it.
I don't
It
want to
shouldn't,
ever
it shouldn't
limit-
be exploited. It
I
shouldn't
was
be
gonna say
exploited.
it's
can
used
be-
as like a plot point. It's used like a and like
It shouldn't be a hook. It shouldn't be a hinge point. It shouldn't be a linchpin. I do feel like horror provides that place for us to talk about the uncomfortable, or a place to feel comfortable enough to get into the uncomfy stuff, like where we can contextualize things and think about our traumas behind
Yeah.
these.
But obviously, content warnings for
100%.
like.
Yeah,
have a
it
lot of
shouldn't be
different-
anything. It's just brazenly thrown around. I don't know.
Well,
Not
and that's,
at all.
I think what you're saying is like just do it well.
Yes.
It's like if you're gonna do it, like make sure it belongs to you, make sure it's authentic, make sure it's not gratuitous, make sure it
Yes.
is. And again, I
You
was gonna
shouldn't do
say,
it just to do it.
well, so it's funny to look at the word exploitation within the context of horror anymore, because like the development of the word, like like some of the best art comes from exploitation, but usually it's like older exploitation films and exploitation in terms of just like, honestly, just like giving platform to things that didn't really have as wide of a microphone as like the mainstream. And so it was kind of just like another word for just like anything alternative or underground, because we just weren't using those terms yet. Whereas nowadays I feel like we use exploitive or even exploitation films as something that's very specifically about not necessarily like fucking people over, but not giving credit or otherwise being so gratuitous, where if it's slapstick, great, love that kind of exploitation. If it's gorecore, honestly not my thing, but I know, but I God bless the folks that love that. Like I don't necessarily have
like
stuff against
Grindhouse
that.
is Grindhouse for a reason,
And I like that shit.
Yes.
There's
Splatter
also,
is
this is
splatter
also
for a
where we
reason.
get Blackula and on like important like blaxploitation things like that. It's where a lot of like martial arts traditions come from. It's a lot of horror stuff comes from. When it comes to like SA or sexual assault or whatever, like that, I feel like if it's coming from a survivor, or someone with like, some sort of sufficient authentic experience, like I'm not ever going to tell them what to do with it, especially when exploitation got to do their thing. Like I want to, as you're saying, like horror is the place where kind of anything goes. I feel like if we could all just enjoy and understand the rule of don't be a shitbird about it, like the world would be a better place. But of course it's never, it's easier said than done.
Right.
It's
But I think
one of
if we-
those aspects where it's like community kind of takes place on it, where it's like, no, the community rules what is popular. The community rules how the stories are told. If you're just going out there and going to make this movie the way that you want to make it, and you're going to say a lot of fucked up things,
And not even
the community's not going to allow that.
And not even like in a popularity way necessarily, but in like I was thinking more like the authenticity of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
It's like if
yeah,
folks,
that.
if you're showing like that there's like ownership and authenticity and it's real, like you're gonna see the support from community, I think. And if it's
Yes.
not, I think you'll see the opposite.
Yes.
I think
100%.
People bitch a lot in horror, especially from the old heads, like, oh, cancel culture, you can't be funny anymore. It's like, no, you can be hilarious. You can't just be an asshole.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I think you're kind of speaking to.
Yes.
And it's just like
Yeah.
Like a movie.
it's not cancel culture, it's fucking consequences. You know
like,
what I mean? It's because
when-
people don't want to hang out with douchebags. How about that?
Like when I Spit on Your Grave came out. That was what it was for that time. And it's like if I Spit on Your Grave did not come out then and just like got put out now by some dude who just didn't care, people would be like, yo, this is what the hell did
I
you
don't
just
know-
put me
Well, I don't know
through?
off the top of my head, but I think a man directed that original,
yeah.
right? And I mean, Sam Peckinpah directed
remake?
Straw Dogs. No, I'm
yeah.
talking 70s stuff.
Oh,
and
70s
and Wes
stuff, yeah.
Craven directed Last House on the Left.
Yeah.
And I think don't all these movies have like prominent scenes
Yes.
of that sequence? So
Yes.
like, and these are generally, at least with Craven and Peckinpah, kind of like heavily revered movies. I have not seen either. But again,
in some fashion or another, the power comes. The thing that's the saving grace there is that the power comes back around to the
There's one-
victim
well-
survivor.
well, there's a lot of reasons why those
Yes.
movies I think are redeemable,
For sure.
whether artistic or because of the authorship or whatever. But I was only going to say that, like, just like from our perspective, at least mine, and maybe me and yours, more so, like just like for being part of like a more cis traditional white male bullshit, straight whatever. Like I just, it's not my place, right? But as long as
Oh, for
there's
sure.
the authenticity, like I would never want to say no to exploitation.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
As much as I don't want to like Like, because we don't need
I just
more
want
spit
people
on your graves.
who the
Maybe
stories
maybe
are
it
about to
helps
tell the stories.
folks. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That I am not part of the folks it helps. So like, so I don't want to, never not give it its flowers, even though it's like one of those things that I feel like most people agree are like not in good taste.
Right.
But also great things come from tasteless things. So like, it's one of those circly discussions
Yes.
that can get very, easily heated.
Let the story, who the story is about, be told by the person whose story it is.
Again, if you have character, if you have authenticity, like you won't hopefully have to worry about feeling exploitive in the bad way,
Right.
or the unearned way, or the way that doesn't give credit to folks.
Yeah. 100%.
If we're looking to start wrapping things up, the one question I was curious to ask you guys was just if you have favorites among the Perkins, Garland, Eggers, Astor, Peele, Cronenberg crew, like the kind of now
I like
heavy
them.
hitters.
They're
Any favorites of their works? Like, do you like The
think they're
Witch
neat.
better than Us, or do you love, Annihilation more than Possessor?
So
like
if I'm
any,
going
whatever,
through
anything like that type of
those
stuff,
directors,
or just
first
faves,
ones that
whatever.
pop into my head that I'm like, ugh.
or not to whatever.
Yeah, just out of those directors, just out of those movies, like the ones that I like snap to that I'm like, yeah, is like love Nope.
Yeah,
I
that was so much
love
fun.
Nope. I had so much
Had a great
fun
time
with
seeing
Nope.
that in the theater. Yeah.
I really liked Infinity Pool. Infinity Pool was so fucking weird, but it was
That's
just
maybe the weirdest out of all these.
Yeah.
That and Men. Have you seen Men?
I haven't seen Men.
No. I know how fucking.
I'm
know, I have
very
seen
interested.
Men.
I'm very
That's
interested. in Men.
wild.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm a poster girly. Give me one sec.
Yeah. It's
Men's
you'll see
super
the
weird.
actor and you'll go, oh, that guy played everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Just that sentence only. Yeah, the
Yep.
dude is every dude.
He's every man.
Yeah.
He is every man. It's all in me.
God, I love when our brain just connects. But yes.
Really okay. So as much as I love Nosferatu, I really
know
really liked The Lighthouse. I really liked Lighthouse.
And Northman. I love
Northman
your-
was so fun.
Where's your
Like
lighthouse
I
jacket?
think out of all these, like
Don't have one. I do have a captain's hat though. It's somewhere. I did have a mustache. I did have a lobster, and I liked it.
you like me, lobster. I saw you eat.
Harky Winslow.
For me, I feel like it's between Eggers and Perkins. Like they're my two boys. Like Astor is crazy for Heredity and Midsummer, but I don't
Perkins, I
love.
really can't say much on right now.
I definitely have to.
Monkey is on my list.
Oh.
I'm going to probably go home and watch it today.
You've seen the rest. Or have you not seen the earlier ones of his?
I still need to.
They're not as they're very slow burn. Like they were not
Was
like
Black-
good word of mouth. He didn't get much
Black
prominence
Coat,
until Longlegs. I feel like
Emma, yeah, Blackcoat was.
Blackcoat
Emma
has
and
at least the
Kieran.
cast of
Yes,
like
yes.
ooh, young starlets
Kieran
that are coming
Shipka,
up.
Emma Roberts.
Yeah. No, I think
I still
these
need to see
are
I'm the
these are
Pretty
all
Good
heavy
Thing.
hitters, but I do I stand by what I said earlier that I look forward to the our guys sitting at 2 movies right
And
now.
he's got 3 in the works, Eggers. Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, our guys that only have 2 out right now.
Kreger and Philip
Kreger and Filippo.
Filippo brothers.
Filippo. Desiree. Hot water. Sydney, Australia. No, I think it's Adelaide. No, I really do look forward to that. I look forward to seeing more from some of these guys that have only put out, and ladies that have only put out 1 movie so far. And seeing where we go from there on out. Like, we have, oh my God, I can't remember their name. Director of I Saw the TV Glow, and we're all going to
that is so funny. That is so funny.
Jane
Yes,
Schonenbrauer.
Jane. Yes.
Yes.
I
You're-
messed
wow.
it up. Schonenbrau?
Schonbrunn or Schoenbrunn. Brun.
Jane,
I'm so
right?
sorry, Jane.
Jane. Very much like in the number 2 club.
What is-
of like
what
you
is
did
up
some
next for
cool,
her?
crazy
She-
stuff.
I forget what it is, but she is working on teenage sex and death at Camp Miasma.
Dude, sick name.
Feature?
Sick name.
Series.
No, that is a movie.
Feature?
Oh,
Nice.
Written
love
and
that
directed
title.
by her.
Love that fucking title.
Right now, the cast is Hannah Binder. I'm so sorry, and Gillian Anderson.
Heavy breathing. I love Gillian Anderson. Be still my X-Files heart.
Yeah, that's a name.
No,
X-Files.
that's
That's a name.
That's another director that's sitting in the number 2 club right now, where it's like you put out two crazy, weird, new type of movies, and I'm so excited to see what you do next. Like, I feel like the 21st century is not over, but we are on our way to seeing the next quarter of it, and I'm so excited to see what the first half holds. Like, there was so much that's happened in the last 25 years. It's been so cool. I can't see what the next are going to be. It's going to be either absolutely awesome, or we're going to see a return to form, and I'm kind of okay with either.
I hope we see more political stuff.
Oh, it's going to happen.
We're gonna see what film looks like under fascism.
So,
we're gonna see.
Well, so here's the thing about that, right? Art. Yeah. Art. Art does this thing where art mimics what's happening in day-to-day life. And horror of all things, I feel like takes all of the things that are happening in life, and we see a certain type of movie come out at a certain type depending on what is happening at that moment. You know what I mean?
Well, I hope so. That it's reflective of what's going on in the moment.
Exactly. And I truly do feel it's the same thing with it's the same thing with like the current socio-political economic structure of the way things are. It's the same thing with punk music.
Sure.
Punk music and metal music.
Punk in particular.
And hip hop too. It's all dictated by what's happening right now, and that's the type of art that we are given. And
well, it's inherently protest music. You know, it used to be folk more back in the day.
Yeah.
A lot of union folk, and like back before country got all shitty and racist and fascist again.
Yeah.
But no, like you had, it was all working class.
Country outlaw again.
Yeah.
Horrible.
But the good kind, the working class kind that like fought bankers and cops, like that's the kind of country we're looking for.
But it's like,
but now it is
that
more, I think,
protest
punk
music,
and hip hop.
It's turned into like punk and hip hop, and it's like even the song structure is still there. So it's like you have like
populist
folk songs were easy to learn because they wanted other people to play them.
Yep.
Same thing with Rage Against the Machine.
And
same
punk,
thing with punk music. Simplify to the point where people can share this. And I think that's the cool thing that's going to happen with horror. It's going to be subversive, it's going to be weird, but it's going to be fucking accessible. And I'm so here for it.
One big, weird, accessible, new, grungy, new, like, young thing to look forward to that we can maybe, like, settle this on is, are you guys familiar with the Backrooms?
Oh, like the creepypasta?
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
guys watched those videos much on YouTube at all?
I haven't watched much of the videos, but I am familiar.
Some, though.
Yeah.
At least like one
yeah.
or a couple minutes. So, I mean, you kind of get it if you've seen a little. But, like, I do think it has more staying power than something like Skinamarink.
What is it? Liminal space.
Yeah.
Liminal horror. Yeah.
So, and, okay, so, like, that dude, I forget his name off the top, but, like, and I think now he's either, like, 19 or 20. He might even be 21. But, like, he started getting into this when he was, like, what, 16, 17, younger, or whatever. And, yeah, looking forward to A24's version of like a 90-minute whatever feature-length version of that. I wonder if they're gonna ruin it by explaining it with characters and lore. If it could enhance the narrative ability to not get like kind of lost in a loop of just watching this endless hallway. Because I do love the videos. I think it's really effective. But
it should be really interesting to see what comes next with A24.
Will the last room be a guillotine? Like, how are we gonna tie it all together? No.
Well, it's like there's a very popular video game right now of the back. Well, not right now, but it was like maybe about 2 months ago. The Backrooms game where it's like it had all the liminal horror, or it was like you're wandering through the back rooms, and then once you get to a new point, it's like now you're in a parking garage, and then
because I was gonna say there's another game, Exit 8. Which is the same concept, but except it's a hallway, and you're like tasked. You have an actual job, but as the job goes on, it gets harder, or like you basically have to like clock anomalies. Like posters look the same, or like there's faces on the floor.
Oh, there's a platform, whatever does that too. Yeah.
And like your job is just to, and it gets weirder and more work as it goes on. So
why is this vent leaking black ichor? Like that's a thing.
Why is this man and there's always like.
He's staring at me now. He wasn't staring at me.
He's staring at me. Or like, is that something coming out of the, and by that, like,
it's cool.
Liminal situations of things being translated to film.
It kind of plays to like the what the current people are feeling right now, where it's like it's that disenfranchisement. It's that I feel disconnected. I feel
I feel
alone.
like we
I feel
all
aloof.
disassociate
Yes.
so much more now as
And
a
it's
collective.
the horror reflects the feeling of the time. No, very excited to see what A24 does with that. I think as far as like production companies go, A24, Neon, Monkey Paw, I'm very excited to see what's going to come up next. These next 25 years are going to be fucking crazy. It's going to be wild.
We're going to have to band together, friends, but we're looking forward to it with optimism and bravery.
Yes.
Community.
Yes.
And
Mutual
we do
aid.
this for all of those reasons. That's why we are a part of this. It is an escape. It is a way to fill that void of not feeling connected or not feeling a part of something, and horror really kind of brings you into that. And it's like I feel like it's the same thing as like the punk and metal community. It's like only speaking from experience, every other music genre could be the same, and I've never been a part of it.
There's so much overlap, though.
But the idea is like, no, yes, we're scary, or the things are
We're weird together.
at face value hard to handle, but when you delve into it, it's like, no, that the ultimate goal is to be uplifting.
No, and we're weird together. We're struggling together, and we make it easier on each other.
Take care of yourself, friends.
Yes.
And remember, take care of yourself.
Thanks, Sue.
It was right there. It was right fucking there.
It was right fucking there.
Also, don't forget to
Yeah.
like us on all the things, right?
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say that'll be it for us at the podcast downstairs if you guys don't have anything else to say.
No, I think you brought it home nicely because we
Yeah.
started talking about music and community and identity, and we kind of finished
Ended
there.
with music and community.
talking about
That's
how it
really
all
cool.
works
It's a
together.
full circle moment. Time
And-
is a flat circle.
Well, and also the idea though of community, and like you brought it up the other day, and I was so like, oh, I felt so seen when you mentioned you referenced what me and my wife say to each other, which is like, oh, our friends are friends. When like artists or filmmakers or musicians like collaborate and work together, and like knowing that like I don't know, watching Oddity, the Irish movie, I thought for the drumming monkey that's in the woman's basement or her shop or whatever of curiosities, I thought maybe it was like a heads up to Perkins, maybe that Irish filmmaker, maybe they're friends and he knew that he was working on the monkey or something. You know what I mean? Like, I just love trying to spot conversations among creatives that way in their work, 'cause it's like you get to be privy to their little
Yeah, just
and that's honestly like
It's so fun. It's so
it's
cool.
like a little
It's so
nudge,
neat.
a little wink.
Not even to be gatekeepery, more to just be like, hey, egg, Easter egg type fun.
I love an Easter egg, but I feel like on top of everything, like communication that's the goal. Is like we want to have that open line of being able to talk to people about
and all the
stuff. It's
secret,
cool.
signs and signals of like, hey, here's a safe space, or hey, you want to fight back, here's where you do that. You know, I mean, we're already speaking in code, and it's a good skill to have, and I'm glad we can practice it in our funny, weird art.
We share our favorite things.
We sure do. Thanks for sharing with us, friends.
That'll actually be it from all of us at the podcast downstairs. You can find us wherever podcasts are available. You can also find us on the YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. I want to thank our producer and tech wizard. You're a wizard.
Donnie.
And Not Great Entertainment for all the help with setting up the pod. We will see you later. And until then, stay out of the basement.